and welcome to episode 2 of Behind a Character. Today we are going to be drawing Will, and basically Will is Gold's partner, and he didn't exactly start that way, obviously. He was originally just this little doodle I did in a sketchbook in freshman year, and he kind of just drifted away into the shadows and never really turned him into anything. He just kind of stayed this little nameless doodle. And then a couple years later, I was looking for a character to turn into Gold's love interest and to become the main scientist guy for a bunch of the stories in the series, Psychosis. And I was looking around through my old sketchbooks trying to find a decent character that I could turn into something that I hadn't already converted into another character. And I ended up finding this little drawing, and I was like, okay, I can use this. So I ended up doodling the first rendition of Will, and it kind of just went on from there. Now, one thing about the origin of Will is that at the time there was, and I'm sure a few of you might remember this, but there was a old doll creator for the My Little Pony community, and there was a lot of different hair features and all sorts of weird customizations that were honestly horrible quality and all that. And a lot of his design, originally at least, was inspired by that. Like the hair and everything, including the wings. While I didn't use that while creating him, there was definitely a lot of influence in the back of my mind from it. Another thing to note is that I didn't have a color reference for his first design. So what I did is I took the base colors from his first official design and used those. Now, this design was the very first rendition of Will as he is today. I immediately was like, okay. For some reason, I was going to make him not only a scientist, but a violinist, and that never ended up staying. His wings were actually inspired by duck wings. Specifically, someone had already made robotic duck wings as an experiment, and I really liked how he designed them, and so I incorporated that into Will's design. Now, the reason why he has wings is because, well, one, I wanted him to have, like, a breakthrough kind of experiment to get him to where I needed him to get, and that ended up being it. And I just needed a way to incorporate his mechanical wing design I got rid of the robotic leg and foot because it just wasn't really needed, and that was about it. This first design didn't really last too long, mostly because an old friend at the time felt that it looked too similar to their own character, which they did not like and wanted me to change it. And at first I didn't change it because I didn't feel it was necessary, didn't feel like starting anything by doing that, and kind of just left it for a while. But then it kind of turned into this really bad, almost public affair where they were claiming that I was stealing their character, and we ended up breaking off our friendship because of that. And before that, we were dating, and part of the reason why his middle name was Rin for a while, and it technically still is, I haven't changed that, is because her own character was named Rin, and at the time when we were together, we had decided that Will and Rin would have the same first name as their middle name. So Will would have Rin's first name as his middle name, and Rin would have Will's first name as his middle name. And that was kind of to pay homage to each other and all that. I still want to have that. I don't know if they do, but I still want to honor that. And my cat is trying to eat my microphone. Hold on. So this was the first redesign I did. I shortened his hair, styled it a little differently, and changed his palette design to like this weird semi-pastel strawberry looking thing. I was not happy with this design, even though I used it for a very long time. And it was mostly because the colors looked really off to me, and it didn't really feel like Will anymore. And this was just to kind of ease my friendship off of the breaking point over something so stupid as character theft, which it really wasn't, but I didn't want to cause anything, if that makes any sense. So I changed it, and I asked them what they thought, and they said that it looked fine and all that, and everything was happy, everything was fine. We kept on our friendship and all that. And this was when I really started incorporating Will into things, and I made him Moon's half-brother, which might sound weird, because story-wise, that would mean that Gold, after leaving Moon, ended up with his half-brother, and Bethany's stepfather would be her uncle, but it kind of just worked that way. They weren't ever, like, brothers, if that makes any sense. While they grew up together, they didn't know that they were related, and they only knew that until way later in their life. So I didn't really think that it was an issue when I was writing it, and it just ended up being a little funny thing that happened. So yeah, that is technically the case, but it's not that big of a deal. I mean, it happens in real life. But he ended up becoming the reason why Gold was able to transition extremely fully, like full on everything. He created a machine that swapped Gold's chemical makeup to make him like an act, like he was born guy. So that was fun. That was fun to write. And yeah, this was when all that started coming into play, and Psychosis started being in post-production. still unfortunately in post-production, but I'll go into that some other time. Now for this design, since I wasn't happy with how his strawberry form looked, this is still kind of a strawberry form, but I really missed his long hair and that kind of style he had, so I ended up going back to it, but keeping his skin color from the third rendition of him, and putting in the hair from his second rendition. And I gave him the glasses again and the wings still, and I, for some reason, changed his sweater to blue. I don't remember why I did that. I think I just wanted a different color change or something, or showing that he had different colors of hoodies. I don't know. Or not hoodies, sweaters. But so this was kind of an in-between for his versions, and again, I wasn't really too happy with that. I wasn't happy with the coloring. I wasn't too happy with how I did his hair, so I ended up changing it again. So this is the final version of Will, and this is the one that I'm hoping will stay for as long as I have him around, or at least until I'm done with his storyline. And what I did for this was, I really missed his old colors. I really missed his original colors, and I really liked the new hair. Or, well, I liked the hair from his strawberry version. So what I did was I took his strawberry hair and I put his old colorings on it, and I wanted to make him, this was when I was making my characters more stylized, and yeah, it just, everything kind of went back to it. Of course, my friend wasn't happy with this, but at this point I was just like, you know what, you think what you want to think, I'm going to be doing my own thing. And this is kind of when I learned that even if someone tries to claim something about your art or your character or anything, and this is kind of why I wanted to do him, because I wanted to put this out there. While there is something, there is character theft, definitely. Something that a lot of people don't talk about is when you get falsely accused of it, or in general, just falsely being accused of anything in the art industry can really put a damper on your creativity, and you can just end up stop wanting to, which happened with me and Will. And what I learned from this is that even when it seems like someone is trying to take you down and make you change your character into something he's not, it doesn't have to be that way. It's still going to be your character. Obviously, if it is, like, stolen and stuff, change it, please. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying it doesn't have to be that way, and you can make it so that your character is your own. And honestly, the opinion of others, at least in that aspect, doesn't really matter as long as you're happy with it. So that's it for this video, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching.